Okay, after probably like a month and a half, I'm back doing site analytics. Um, I did do some stuff off stream, so I guess I'll talk about this real quick. I think the biggest difference that I made was um, in the front end stuff. So I'm not only doing HTML because I'm also going to pre-process some JavaScript. Um, and I guess it didn't save in the. I guess because all the templates are new, I haven't committed the template stuff yet. Um, but there is some new stuff there as well. So I'm not only doing HTML, I'm also doing JavaScript. And let me go to the file structure. So I've got all the JavaScript that corresponds with the pages. I'm doing, I guess that's what I'll start working on right now is the forgot password. But pretty much what happens is nothing's really pre-processed here. So I don't really need to pre-process this, but the JavaScript has these. Um, so if you haven't, if I think in the last stream I did, I said that I was going to stop doing site analytics and work on my authentication service because my authentication service required that first the application authorized itself, got a JWT, and then used that JWT in subsequent requests. I didn't like that. I didn't think it made much sense. Um, there's no reason that you should have to like authenticate, especially on the front end like this, because then what would the point be? I'd have to store the application ID in secret to authenticate itself anyway, so it doesn't really do anything. If they're going to be stored in the front end anyway, you might as well just make those endpoints open um, and just use an application ID. And then when the user signs in, then the user can sign in because it's someone giving input. It's not stored anywhere, right? So I went back. I completely redid my authentication service. I'll go ahead and show that real quick. Oops. If anyone does want to use it, it is open source. It's out there. Um, that's what I'm using with this with site analytics. I have very similar to site analytics. I have everything up of how I like designed it, what it all looks like, um, and that took me a little over a month to do probably. Um, so that's all available. Feel free to use it. That's what I'm going to be using. That's the reason I went back around to do it. And then when I came back here, I did right after I finished with the site analytics stuff. I came over here and started messing with some of the front end JavaScript um, just to mess with it. And I came across some very nice behavior. It worked out better than expected, which is always nice, you know. Um, so, yeah, the authentication service URL would be just like I'm not a front end wizard. I'll start off with that. I'm no front end wizard. Normally, what I would do is put stuff like this into environment variables. That's pretty much what this config file is. Um, but instead of having the environment variable set, I just use the config file and then I pre-process it. So normally it would be in its own as an environment variable, but I have to pre-process it and like statically place it in here. These three handlebars, these three brackets, that means to unescape or to not escape the text in here, because when I went through, it escaped all of like this stuff for HTML, which makes sense. But, or sorry, I guess it was this one. But that's not what I wanted. So I created on this URL, I created my application. So that's where this is from. That already happened. And if you have watched or if you know about the authentication service, then that should make some sense. Um, Then over here, I placed it in, and pretty much all I'm doing is fetching it. I'm just making the call for verification. This is just one of the API calls. It grabs whatever's in the form, it calls the endpoint, and then we're done. Then where's this? This is verify, so that shouldn't be. That should be sign in. Then we redirect. So after that call is made, we redirect. Let's see. In sign in, we go to sign up, we go to verify. Sign in, I don't know where we're going to go, but we're going to redirect somewhere. Reset password. After we reset the password, we probably want to go to sign in because we just reset it. If you forgot your password, then we will go to reset password. So that's all it's doing. It's making the API call, then redirecting for these pages. And let me go ahead and find those here, and then, well, I'll just send, just to make sure that they are processed and up to date. One thing I do need to do is figure out a better way for the config.json. I need to do that in the authentication service as well, because they update this so often. There's so much churn, and it's kind of annoying. There's a profile. We're going to sign in. And let's do this, and this, and I had this problem last time too. It told me there were CORS problems, that it couldn't, because it had this missing allow origin. So there was an OK, and the response will have my token in it. But I get this, so I can't read what it's saying. Yeah, I'm not allowed to read it. And I did go back through it in the authentication service. Let me find that. No, it's here. And I added that stuff in to the API Gateway configuration. So what was the problem now? Control allow origin. It should be there. Sure, let's go to sign out. Right, so there's the options, which is where it should be. Also, it's wildly slow. And it didn't redirect. Allow origin. Access control, allow origin. It's there. Well, that was a 204, so I don't know if that counts. Yeah. Is that from the... That might be from that console might be from the last one. So let's go back to sign in. Okay. Can I clear? Okay, there you go. So maybe the problem is not with that header. Maybe it's with the JavaScript just not printing anything. So let's see. Because I was worried about that. The debug thing seems kind of weird. Right? It's true. If true equals true. So this should be true. refresh that. Yeah, and there are no logs. I don't know why. It's not logging. How do I get to the JavaScript? I mean, it's there. And it's obviously making this request. Because it's adding a listener and it's, submitting it. It is console.log, right? Maybe it's the then. Maybe that's what the problem is. Yeah, maybe it's then. I don't know why that would be a problem. But that looks to be the problem. Do you have to await it? I'm no front end genius. Obviously. Because that would trigger, because we know that this is true, but I'm not even getting this solid print statement. I'll change this to, I have to do that over here. From data to response. That's a little better version of it. Did I complete all these? It looks like I completed them all the endpoints. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why that's not happening. Oh, maybe it's a Firefox thing. What is this? Is that CoffeeScript? Oh, that's weird. Well, let's try this with Chrome. I don't know how to get to developer tools. 200. Did it log? No. Undefined. Well, this is all new. So what was the problem with this? Oh, failed to load resource. Okay, sure. And undefined. Oh, it was just throwing. Okay. From origin null has been blocked. So it doesn't put an origin on it. I guess that's the problem. Can I edit it and resend it? Oh boy. So Chrome won't even let me get past it. It's responsive about request headers. There's no host. Origin is null. Why is origin null? What is it on Firefox? Oh, origin is null. Huh. Is that why? That's there. Why doesn't it send the options? I feel like it should send the options. It does on sign up. Blocks it. Yeah. Three and a half seconds. Does that need to be on like every method then? Maybe. Oh, what am I doing? It's called default cores pre-flight. Adds it to all child resources. So does it have to come from the... Oh, jeez. So maybe it just has to be on everything, not just the pre-flight. I mean, it looks like it's working, but it obviously isn't. It's a Harfa. I've never heard of that. I don't understand if it's like just per endpoint or if it's just the options thing, because the options thing is working. It needs to be in the response. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, you must do it manually. All right. Well, thought I was done with it, but I'm not. I'm going to do it in here and shared and this. No, I can't do it in there. I have to do it in each individual one. I'll do it once and then I'll be able to just copy it. So, grab that. Go to config. Because I want to make this, I do want to make this, I want to make it possible to override this. Should be like that, and then I'll do constants of whoops. Course list. I'll make it a star. We'll do header. Yeah, and then that could be added in there. Let me, where are the constants? Do I have a list of constants? No, I do not. And here, okay. So it would not look like that. It would look like go back here, add it there. What that is. Then the headers. I don't think I care about those, but I do care about that. Okay. Now I have to add this to every single one. Oh boy. I apologize in advance. I know this isn't thrilling. It's not for me either. But it's something that has to be done. I hope this works now that I'm like changing literally everything. I think it'll work, but those direct integration ones, I think I'm gonna have to add those headers in through the CDK. Okay. My. Okay, now let's go in here. And then in the responses, let's see. How do you respond? I always forget how these ones work. I need it in here. The resource and then add method. And method options. Method responses. There it is, okay. So it's under method responses. Okay. Status code, response model, and then we have response parameters. Which is actually this one. Do I have config in here anywhere? I do have config. There's that one, and then this is true. But what is it called? Allow credentials. True. Okay, and there were a couple where I didn't use this, I think. Responses. Okay, I want all of these to have the same. No, okay. The only one that didn't use it. All right, and then, oh. Oh, wow. Okay. There are all the headers for those. Now, what about the errors? be in here, in the error handling. Okay, yeah. Let's just here. What I'm copying. Okay. That comes through config. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I hope. See if it even synthesizes. So it's not just pre-flight, everything needs it. I could have just added them there. That probably, that's the better place to do them, now that I'm thinking of it. Because it returns that, and then I'll just do headers equals where's it? There it is. And then return the result. Yeah, that's what should happen. Yeah. Okay, so it happens in the infrastructure. Then we have the config for it. And then we inject it before it gets returned. That is what I should have done from the start. Let's deploy it and see if my browser's like that any better. This takes like 2 minutes, so I'll just hang around. A full redeploy too. Yeah, I guess one of the good things about doing the browser stuff is I don't really have to worry about any differences between the cloud version of something and the local version, because the environment in which it runs is the browser, and that is, it doesn't matter where that file is served from. One of the things I am curious about, I'll go ahead and start looking into that. In this guy, for the front end, wherever my bucket is, I want to see if there's a way to strip HTML off of that. Right? Because right now those files are .html, but normally it's not how it works. So normally someone doesn't go to a .html page. Maybe it's that. Oh, you have to remove it? Okay, that was something I thought of, but you have to set the metadata. How do I do that? That's that stuff. How did I deploy it? Ah, okay. So it's a bucket deployment? Maybe there's a way I can set the metadata in there. User defined object metadata. Metadata. Alright. What? It's just that. Okay. Content type. Was it text/HTML? I think. I bet this is done. That is done. Let me try it. Now this one should have those headers. It does have those headers. So that's good. Do we still have a problem? Oh no. Okay, so we have a successful call, but stuff is still pending. Oh, do you have to await JSON? I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay, so that was the fix. All right. Back to this metadata stuff. So the fix for the CORS header problems was to just put them in the response of the Lambda functions, which is good to know. I'm trying to think. I guess I didn't have that problem with the other things that I've written because the API calls didn't come directly from Lambda. They went through Next.js's functions, weird serverless functions. So they must have not have had CORS issued there, and then the Next.js functions I think are like kind of server side, so they probably didn't care about CORS, and then it just got fed back up, which is probably why I never had that problem before. So that's good to know that that is a problem. And I might run into more later, but we'll see. If I missed any of the those endpoints, I'll I'll find that out soon. Text/HTML. Yep. Okay. So in here, it doesn't matter. I don't care about only HTML files because I'm doing everything now. So I think the 404 I have to save because that was, yeah, that was just in there. Index.html, yeah. We just call it index. Probably call that one just 404 as well. And then we're going to change all these to just look like text files. Okay. Oh, I did it on the sites, not the site templates. Dang it. Well, those are fine. Okay, there we go. So I think those should copy over now. It's just slashes. What did that? There's someone who talked about like the doc type. Because I think you're supposed to have that. Oops. Find doc type. Is that a thing? ML doc type. I don't know what exactly it does. Oh, well, there you go. Okay. Okay. Boo. Now I have some work to do in the JavaScript. So this, what we do is, well, it should have still, so it printed this. So we got here now. So that's good. And then it printed it as a promise, and then uncaught in promise JSON.parse unexpected end of line. So, oh, well, it is a 204. So there's no JSON to be had. So we can get rid of that. Which means we can get rid of that. Which means that we can move this up here. And for sign in at least, that's that. I could check the status code, but I think if it's not, well, let's see. That's to, this is sign in. Sign in should just be to slash. No. synthesize it. And then after it's synth, I'm going to try this call again and with a bad password to see what happens with fetch whenever it gets back at 400. Good. Okay. Back at 401, which is good. And it still said successful call and didn't redirect. All right. Cool. So that's not necessarily beneficial. But was a successful call. I wonder if you can make fetch throw on certain status. Response not okay. Okay, so you have to check for okay. What is okay valid on? Is it any 200? All right, so any 200. It's good to know. If not, so I do need the response in here. If response is not okay, network response was not okay. That's fine. And I'm going to add that into all of these. That one hasn't. Oops. That one and that one. Okay, which ones do and don't have JSON? I just copy and pasted this, so that's why some of them work and some of them have JSON, some of them don't, but I wasn't very careful when I copy and pasted over, so that's what today was about. We have, start at the top, forgot password. There's no JSON there. Reset password. There's no content. Signing in. So token. There is. What did I not? Oh. I'll just do that. I don't need to say successful call too. Otherwise, okay, let's sign up. 204. That means I don't need that. That goes in there. And then verify, I think, does. I think you get back your user ID. I want that to look similar to this. Except it goes to sign in. All right. Now we gotta work on the index, I guess. Or the profile. Yeah, we'll call it profile, sure. Got sign analytics and then maybe my HTMLing. Is this how you do it? I think the profile is going to have to come from here. I just thought of here, I can't just blanket statement text HTML because some of it is JavaScript. I could do 2 deployments. Oh. Could just do that, huh? Content type. Yeah, okay. Oh, prune. Interesting. I think I'd want to set prune. I wonder if I have to do 2 of them. right? Because it has sources. S3 source. It's just a directory. So does that include a whole child directory? I don't know. Mine's just called an asset. It's just a path. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'd have to do 2 deployments anyway. Let's see if did I use synth? I would like to get redirects working today, but I honestly don't care that much if they don't. So we're gonna synth one more time, make sure everything's in sync, and I'll refresh this and try it again. Okay. If I do a sign in, it's 200. I have my response, but I did not get redirected. Let's see, get all this clutter out of the way. So that's in here. It should do window.location.replace. But it doesn't. It obviously gets there. But oh, it's a function. Nice. Alright, so that's what I have to do. I don't want that in the side, I want that in here. Okay. Start off by just placing it down in all of these locations. Then I'll copy over. So sign in, so after you reset your password, you should be redirected to sign in. Seems fine. After you verify, you should be redirected to sign in. Sounds fine. After you sign up, you should be redirected to verify. I think that's fair. And after you sign in, you should be redirected to profile. And your profile will contain all of the sites that you own. And then you click a site. No, I decided against that because that was too dynamic for what I was trying to do. So whenever you go to your profile, there will be like there will be a call. I think, did I write this down? I thought I had this in like the README. Profile, it shows the sites, which corresponds to those, to that endpoint, and then okay, it just shows the sites. And then if you go to statistics with a query parameter for the site ID, then I'll have some JavaScript that will grab that site ID from the query parameter, and it will grab the stats and it will draw it. So that's what's going to happen. Yep. Okay. Well, not a crazy amount of progress today, but it was still progress. Learned more about cores. which I still did not want to do. Got the headers in on the authentication service, lambdas, and I got the redirects working. And the JavaScript is actually working now. It's not just random junk. So, cool. Yeah, that was more the front end. I will probably be working on site analytics more and bopping back to the authentication service when needed. But I should be back on the site analytics stuff for the near term. I want to try to get this working in some sense, and then I'm actually going to set up my blog with site analytics. I'll write some sort of script to send the correct payload to the API, and then I'll actually be able to start collecting and looking at my stats through this, because that's the ultimate goal, is to switch off of Google Analytics. And then I guess that'll be it for site analytics. And then I'm guessing the design is going to be atrocious. That's not my main concern right now. I'm no designer, so I'll probably have to do some sort of generic design or something like that, and then I'll work on some other bugs at some point. But I think finishing out those pages is going to take me a little bit of time. This profile and statistics. So yeah, because I've never done vanilla JavaScript for a website, so this is all new to me. But I think it'll be good. So, all right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.